Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is going to be the ultimate Australian mum tag. I've only just discovered this tag. I think it's a fairly new one, but basically a whole bunch of Australian mummy vloggers got together and they have created this tag for us to do. And it looks really exciting. I'm also really excited because this means there's a whole bunch of other Australian vloggers out there that I didn't know about, which I can now go and watch. So I'm really excited. I'll leave the list of all the questions down below and the links for all the mummy vloggers that are on there. So if you are another Australian and you want to follow some Australian vloggers, there's a whole list down there that I wasn't even aware of. So I'm going to get straight into the questions, otherwise this is going to go forever because there's quite a few questions. Question number one is Vegemite or promite? For me, it is Vegemite. I have never actually tried my, what is it called? Promite. I'm a Vegemite girl. I think it's delicious on toast. I feel like the people that don't like it aren't eating it the right way. So yeah, Vegemite for me. Neighbours or Home and Away? I don't actually watch either. I did when I was a teenager. I think I sort of went through phases with both of them. So I know that at one point I was watching Neighbours every night, another point I was watching Home and Away. I couldn't tell you which one I prefer, but I think probably Home and Away is what I preferred when I was younger. Woolies or Coles? I am a Woolies girl, mostly because I think I'm so familiar with Woolies that I know what the layout of the store is, I know where to find everything. We have both Coles and Woolies in my area, as well as Aldi, which, you know, if you watch my videos, you know that I really love Aldi. I try to do my weekly shop at Aldi these days, and then if there's things that Aldi doesn't have, I'll go to Woolies. My husband prefers Coles though. So what is one thing about raising kids in Australia that you love? Probably the fact that we have great weather pretty much all year round. There is wintry periods where it rains every few days, but it's not that cold. So you can often go outside. I'm not really an outside person myself, but the fact that, you know, they can go outside and explore the outdoors. I know that when I was a kid, we live in an area where there's a lot of bush around. When I was a kid, I used to love exploring the bush around our property and just things like that. Also, I was watching a couple of the other girls for their tags, and they mentioned the healthcare system in Australia, which, yes, 100% the healthcare system in Australia for kids is amazing. You're pretty much covered by Medicare, meaning that you don't have to worry about healthcare if your kids get sick or anything like that. It's all free. So that is definitely something that is great about Australia. Is there anything you would change about Australia for your children's future? Yes, at the moment we're in the middle of a plebiscite about whether or not to bring in same-sex marriage, which I think yes we should. I really hope that it gets in. Regardless of my children's sexuality, I mean they're 2 and 5 at the moment, so we don't really know yet. We obviously don't know yet. Regardless of their sexuality, I still think same-sex marriage needs to change for my children's future. Just equal rights for everybody. The thing is with this plebiscite, even if the majority votes yes, it's not a done deal. The government still has to go ahead and legalise it, so we're still... I've just got a message on my phone, and this is so Australian. I just got a message on my phone that said, watch out for the sleeping magpie when you go to work next, because my friend, she works sort of across the road from where I do, and there's this magpie that follows, like every September, there's this magpie that follows both of us and swoops us. It doesn't swoop everybody, but it swoops me and her. So she just sent me a message saying to watch out for the sleeping magpie, which is hilarious because I'm filming an Australian mum tag. Anyway, what was I saying? Hopefully the government does go ahead and legalise same-sex marriage. Even if we vote no, they should still legalise it because, come on, equal rights, people. What do you wish Australia had that other countries do? Probably, this is going to be really shallow, but I would love it if we did more seasonal decorating. Pretty much, as far as I'm aware, most people only really decorate for Christmas in Australia. There's no there's a little bit of Halloween, not a lot. We don't really celebrate Halloween, but you know, it's fun. I feel like we should. There's not really, if you go in the store, there's a little bit of Easter decorating that happens within a certain few stores. There's no like fall decorating or winter decorating or like summer decorating, like it's all pretty much just Christmas. So I would love it if we did a bit more seasonal decorating. I just think it's fun, but yeah. What is your favourite city, town or holiday destination? I live in Perth, WA. I've travelled a little bit around WA. Been to Melbourne for about a week. I think I went when I was younger and really enjoyed Melbourne. I think it's great. But my favourite holiday destination in WA is Hillary's Boat Harbour. We went there last year for a few days. We're going to go again this year in January. It's just a really good place for holidays, especially with little kids. The bay is really protected for the kids. There's not a lot of waves, but then if you go outside of the marina, which is, you know, just a little 2-minute walk, there's a full beach with waves and everything there, so you know it's good for kids and good for older kids. There's a water park there which is closed at the moment, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be reopening it soon from what I've heard. There's heaps of places to eat. It's just a really good spot. I think it's quite touristy as well. I think a lot of people would come there. There's also a what do you call it, like an aquarium. an aquarium there, which is really cool for the kids. A bit expensive and it's not that great, but you know, it's something to do with the kids. I really like that area. I think it's fantastic. If you had a choice, would you continue living in Australia? Yes. Yes, hands down, yes. I don't really want to live in any other country. I did spend 6 months living in the UK when I was 18, 19, and I enjoyed that, but definitely will continue to live in Australia. I don't even really have any, like, as much as, you know, traveling is fun and everything, I don't really have any urge to go and spend a significant amount of time in another country. Holidays, yes, but not actually living there, no. You're not Australian unless you are terrified of magpies in September. Is my number one. And number two is unless you have sweated through 40 degrees, like a week minimum of 40-degree temperature and live to tell the tale, you're not Australian. How do you like to spend Australia Day? We tend to spend Australia Day, my family's Australian, my husband's family are Welsh, so they don't really celebrate, so it's all with my family, my side of the family. We do a barbecue breakfast in the morning, usually at a local picnic area that we have here. We try to go really early because by the time it gets to like 9 o'clock in the morning, it is super hot already. There's flies everywhere. It's the middle of summer and we're in Perth, so it's really quite hot at that point in time. And then once we've had our barbecue, we'll either go back to my parents' place or somewhere similar, and we will have, you know, like a pool day and just hang out in the pool all day. A lot of people go down to the beach, but we've never really done that. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe the fact that it's meant to be really busy at the beach on Australia Day, but growing up and everything, we never really did the beach, so I don't really think to do it now. Maybe we will one day. But yeah, that's what we do. What sport do your kids play? At the moment, Taylor is 5, so she is the only one playing sport. Owen's too little. Taylor she did do a term of Auskick, which is like AFL for the little kids. She didn't really like that, but I think that was more to do with the way it was run. It wasn't really a very good program at the time. So she did soccer for a term, liked that. She'll probably end up playing netball because a girl in Australia that doesn't play netball, very unusual. And then Owen, we'll see what he likes when he gets there. Favourite Aussie movie? It's probably not technically, it kind of is an Australian movie. My favourite movie is Moulin Rouge. It's directed by an Australian, Nicole Kidman's in it. A lot of the smaller roles are Australians, so I'm just going to say that's an Australian movie. It is my favourite movie. It was filmed in Australia. I love Moulin Rouge. It is the most amazing movie ever. All the other Australian movies that are typically Australian, like is Strictly Ballroom and all those other ones, I don't really like. Is that bad? Don't tell anyone. Favourite Aussie celebrity / musician and why? This is a hard one actually. There's a few that I like. Probably my favourite musician that's Australian is Lisa Mitchell, I would say. I really enjoy all of her music. She's she's like an indie artist and I really, really like her. You should check her out if you haven't. She's just released an EP. I think there's about 5 songs where she's done covers of like 90s songs, which is really, really cool. So go check that out if you haven't heard of her, Lisa Mitchell. It's on Spotify and iTunes and all that kind of thing. So she's my favourite singer, but I don't really follow any Australian celebrity like socially, like, you know, on Instagram or anything like that. I don't think. Which Aussie celeb are you sick about hearing in the media? Again, I don't really follow that many Australians in the media, but probably Ben Cousins, to be honest. He's an Australian footballer. He's in the news a lot for bad reasons. He used to be sort of the golden boy of Australia, well, WA anyway, I don't know about the rest of Australia, but he used to be the golden boy, and then it came out that he did a lot of drugs and things throughout his career, and now they report on him a lot where he just he's not really he's not really technically a celebrity anymore. He's living his life away from the camera, so I feel like they just need to leave him alone and not report on everything that he does because it's a lot and I'm over it. Favourite typically Australian pastime? What do I do that is Australian? I don't really know. See, I don't really like going to the beach. Like, I don't mind it every now and again, but I'm not someone that's like at the beach, or when the summer comes around, I'm not like, oh, beach time, you know. I'm not really. What do I do that's typically Australian? I don't know. Get swooped by magpies? That's obviously not a favourite pastime. I hate that. I know. Going to Bunnings and getting a sausage sizzle. So Australian. And it's delicious and I love it. And if you ever come to Australia as a tourist, even though Bunnings is not a tourist spot, find a Bunnings, find your closest Bunnings and go get a sausage sizzle on a weekend morning because life will be changed. It's so good. Favourite Aussie slang word or phrase? See, a lot of things I don't realise are Aussie slang until like someone when we went to the UK and everything, and I would be talking and there'd be things that I'd say and people would be like, what are you talking about? you know, there's a lot of things I don't realise are Australian slang words or phrases, but probably the most obvious one that I like is crikey. I don't say it, but I know my dad did when I was a kid, so I think that's something that, and he says it to my kids and everything, you know, which I just really like. I think that's funny. I don't know. Also, another thing that I didn't realise, I don't know if it's Australian or just like it might be in the UK as well, but I recently saw something like a meme or something on the internet that the US don't use the word fortnight, which I did not know. I thought that was just, you know, a universal thing. If you're from the US and you've not heard of a fortnight is every 2 weeks, like 2 weeks is a fortnight. And like I just thought that was a universal thing. And then I saw this meme on the internet or on Pinterest or something, and it was talking about how there's no word for that in the US, or you'll just say like every 2 weeks or something like that, whereas we say fortnightly. Did not know that was something that, I don't know if it's Australia, might be from the UK might use it, I don't know, other countries might use it, but didn't know that that was something that wasn't used worldwide. That was a surprise to me. Favourite Aussie animal, there's posties that are going up and down my street, and I have orders that I want to come and they're not stopping at my house, and it's very sad. Anyway, no, it's still not stopping. My favourite Australian animal is probably a cassowary, which is quite a dangerous animal, but I think they're really cool. We don't have them in WA as a, like they're not out in the wild. I've only seen them at the zoo, which is probably why I'm not scared of them, because they're in a nice zoo where they can't come and eat me. But I find them really fascinating. They just look so prehistoric, like their claws, and they're just amazing, and they will kill you. I mean, they are very dangerous. I think they're up in Queensland. They're not, like I said, they're not in WA, but look them up because they're crazy. And there's a video on YouTube I saw once of this guy, and he was on the beach, and there was this cassowary on the beach. They're giant, like bird emu looking things, but they'll kill you. And this guy was on the beach walking alongside this cassowary, and I was just like, oh my god, how frightening. But he was like just talking to it. Psycho. He was probably, I don't know if he got like ripped apart after the video ended, but it's basically like walking next to a dinosaur. It's terrifying. Anyway, I find them fascinating. When we go to the zoo, I'm always like, oh my gosh. Ooh. And the babies are so cute. But anyway, it's probably a cassowary, which I know, again, not a typical favourite Australian animal, but they're really, really cool. Favourite Australian children's book. I really like, it's probably not like a children's book. It's probably like a preteen book. But I really like, oh, actually I've got, oh, who wrote it? There's a couple that I like. There's one, it's by Elizabeth Honey, I'm pretty sure. And it was from my childhood. And she wrote, What Do You Think, Feasel? And I think it was like number 43 and 45 Stella Street, something like that. And Don't Pat the Wombat. So her books, like I said, they were for preteens. Really, really enjoyed them. Thought they were really, really good. And then my other favourite is, again, sort of more of a teen book, but Feeling Sorry for Celia by Jacqueline Moriarty, whose sister is Leanne Moriarty, who wrote the Big Little Lies books and all those kind of books that are really popular at the moment. So really liked both of those authors as a kid. I'm not really a fan, I don't really know of any, I can't think off the top of my head of any other like actual children's Australian children's books that I like for little kids. There's probably a whole bunch, but I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Favourite brand of nappies? I've only ever used Huggies, to be honest. I think I used the Aldi brand once, but they were like so. Huggies is what we use for both Taylor and Owen. And favourite family meal? I think this is typically Australian, but getting a cooked chook, which is a cooked chicken, like a barbecue chicken from Coles or Woolies, and one of those pasta, like creamy pasta, pre-packaged pasta salads, which you know what I'm talking about if you're Australian. And then just making like a side green salad is my favourite. It must be Australian, I don't know. Let me know if that's something that you guys do in other countries, but it's a cooked chicken, cooked chook, a pasta salad, like a creamy pasta salad that you buy pre-packaged from Coles or Woolies, and then just a salad on the side. And that is my favourite Australian meal. I think it's Australian anyway, could be wrong. I don't know if my kids really like it yet. They're getting, I know they like some of it, but and that was the very last question. So I hope you enjoyed this. Welcome to my channel if you're new and you've just found me through this tag. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and give me a thumbs up to let me know that you liked this video. If you do this tag as well, let me know down in the comments below, because I'd love to see your responses, and I'd love to meet some other Australian YouTubers. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!